Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Mordenkainen's Tome Foes and the $40 upcharge. All right, so Mordenkainen's Tome Foes came out this last weekend. It is a brand new source book for Dungeons and Dragons, and actually I was excited. So I was at my friendly local game shop, and I walked in, and they had Mordenkainen Tome Foes in stacks. Right, so they had. I'm very blessed. I live near Philadelphia. There's at least a half a dozen FLGSs within 20 miles of my house. Actually, they all range from good to great. We're very blessed. We have a lot of really good shops that supply all of our tabletop role-playing games, all of our CCG, all of our comic book, all of our fiction reading needs. It's pretty board game needs, those kind of things. Different shops will have a different mix of all that, but generally the FLGSs have got you covered, right? And we really have some great ones around. So I went in to play Friday Night Magic, and the Mordenkainen Tome of Foes was on the shelf, and it was available in two different copies. There was the standard cover, and there was the limited edition cover, right? So I've been reading on this, and I've also been watching the reviews for this book by many TRPG commentators, and specifically, I watched WASD 20, and he had specifically talked about upcharges as high as $40. This was being reported by other TRPG commentators as well. And one of the things I saw was a thread on how to avoid the $40 upcharge on the limited edition cover for Mordenkainen's Foes, right? And so here's the entire point of this video. So every FLGS is deciding what they're going to do with the limited edition cover, right? Which they have a few of. Are they going to sell it for standard retail? And that's what it cost them for. So, to my knowledge, they did not have to. They could order these more limited editions, and they got the same retail price. So, an FLGS can offer the limited edition, as kind of a perk to maybe somebody who has a pull box with them, or is a more frequent buyer. And they could just sell it to them at retail, or they could sell it for any number that they want above retail and tack that purely onto their own profit, right? And I was really shocked. So I'm going to call out WASD 20 on this, because he actually said, hey, we're seeing different upcharge prices on this. This also happened with Xanathar, and he was saying that here's how to get around it. You can go to another shop. And you could, if you just shop around at another FLGS, sometimes you can avoid this upcharge, which is true, right? But the entire point of my video is that a $40 upcharge on Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is 100% justified and 100% right. That is the correct upcharge that should be happening, in my opinion. And honestly, I think it's really galling that WASD 20 and all these other TRPG commentators are questioning that those FLGSs have the right, or that it's unfair for them to do an upcharge on the limited editions. And the reality is, as a TRPG commentator, we have a responsibility to the community, right? To promote things that are healthy for the community, and to call out things that are unhealthy for the community, right? And a $40 upcharge on the limited edition cover of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is healthy for the community. It's healthy for the FLGSs, and it's healthy for the player base, okay? And here's why, right? And I really feel it's wrong for any commentator out there to say that there shouldn't be a $40 upcharge on the limited edition Mordenkainen Tome of Foes, all right? So here's why, okay? One, Wizards of the Coast offered this to retailers, to FLGSs, right? They made two separate covers right? And they did not prescribe what those retailers could do, right? Wizards of the Coast already saw this on Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and they had the ability to say, don't sell these at a trumped up price, but they didn't. And the reason why is they know that FLGSs are struggling out there, right? Amazon is coming for everyone. If you own a brick and mortar, Amazon's is daggers out coming at you like a screaming banshee, right? Amazon is dangerous to every single brick and mortar on the planet, right? And FLGSs work extremely, extremely, extremely hard. By the way, I apologize. FLGS, Friendly Local Game Shop, okay? So FLGSs work incredibly hard to provide the service for us to go in and look at a book before we buy it. Provide the service of giving us tables to play at. Provide the service for a nice, temperature-controlled, well-lit space where we can have a long conversation about Spelljammer's GIF, like the hippopotamus mercenary, right? This is important, and FLGSs work incredibly hard to give us that space, right? And I can't tell you how many times I've been in my FLGS and I see somebody stroll in, look around, get all the information they need, take a couple snapshots, and go home, and guarantee they're pulling the trigger at Amazon and saving $10-20 per a pop on each item, right? And that is wrong. That's like gallery shopping. It's definitely a thing, and it's wrong, right? And so here's the issue, right? One, the FLGSs are earning every single penny of that extra $40 upcharge on Mordenkainen and Tome special edition cover. And here's the thing, right? By offering the special edition cover, Wizards of the Coast has allowed an extra revenue, a stream of revenue for all these FLGSs that is completely legitimate. And the reason why is the standard cover is there for the retail of $50, $49.95. Okay, so if people are wanting to get the game at the standard price, it's available at the standard price, and they're going to get the standard cover. No D&D player has any privileged right to a special edition cover at normal price. And frankly, if they're expecting their FLGS to supply that at no extra cost, then they're not thinking long term. They're thinking short term. They're thinking, I want this shiny cover, and I don't really care how long this FLGS is here, right? Because that FLGS needs extra streams of revenue because Amazon is coming at them hard, right? And so we as players need to stop listening to this nonsense that FLGSs need to feel guilty when they do an upcharge on a special edition cover, right? Wizards of the Coast is taking care of us as players. If anybody wants a regular retail standard price on the book, it's available on the standard cover, right? And the special edition cover should absolutely be a charge, right? And I believe that charge should be $40. So standard cover, $50, right? Special edition cover, $90 with $40 extra cash going directly to the FLGS. So why should it be that high? Well, I'll tell you why. Every single D&D player, in my opinion, owes that to the FLGS and to the community and to Wizards of the Coast. And the reason why is the game returns its value tenfold to every player and game master. Every player and game master. I have, every dime I've ever spent on a Dungeons & Dragons book, I've gotten back 100-fold. And the reason why is when you're buying Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, right? 9 chances out of 10, you have already read the PHB, and there's a good chance you're a game master, which means you've already read the DMG, the MM, and the PHB. You have read 750 pages of content, rules to play a game for fun, right? That gives you a tolerance for complexity that will almost guarantee eternal employment, right? And this is very true. I have played Dungeons and Dragons in Lancaster. I have played Dungeons and Dragons in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I have played Dungeons and Dragons in Croydon, Indiana. I have played Dungeons and Dragons in Philadelphia, right? I have been in each one of those. I've had 1 to 3 gamer circles, right? In those gamer circles, not once have I ever seen a D&D unemployed person, right? And the reason why is people who read 750 pages of rules for fun, they're going to find themselves at the top of the pack when it goes to finding a job and to navigating the obstacles of life, right? Because they've raised their tolerance for complexity, right? They've taught themselves more math than they knew, taught themselves more vocabulary than they knew, taught themselves to think in imaginative ways. These are invaluable. Nobody thinks twice about paying thousands of dollars for education through general sources, but Mordenkainen's tome is a textbook, man. It is a textbook for life. It teaches us lessons, and it is worth every single penny spent for it, and it's worth the upcharge for the special edition cover. And I believe, players and game masters and dungeon masters owe this back to WotC. They owe it back to the community itself. They owe it to the FLGSs for bringing and preserving this special thing that's under threat. Every single thing about Dungeons & Dragons is under threat. The FLGSs that carry it are under threat from Amazon. Print itself is under threat from digital form, right? Just getting together and hanging out with your friends is under threat from online gaming, right? And so when the company has built a really actual legitimate way for the people who have benefited from this, who have been able to get employment longer, more easily, at higher rates than they would have, to complain about a $40 upcharge is ludicrous, right? And I really believe that every penny of a $40 upcharge on the Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes special edition cover is earned. It's earned by the community, it's earned by the FLGS, it's earned by WotC, right? It's in many ways, I believe it's owed to them, right? So, so my take is, as TRPG commentators, I really don't think it's responsible to be telling players, here's how you can go and get that book cheaper, right? Because, one, you're not giving useful information there, right? Everybody under the sun knows if you want to get this cheap, just be a schmuck and go order it off of Amazon, right? If you want to support the community, if you want to support WotC, if you want to support your FLGS, there's a really good chance that you have benefited far beyond the tune of $40, from being a DM, a Dungeons & Dragons player. And if I didn't say it clearly earlier, I have never in my life seen a single D&D player who was unemployed, except by their own choice. I have seen a few of those. That does happen every now and then. But I've never ever seen a D&D player who has struggled and just got out there and worked hard and actually was just hitting the pavement and going through the want ads, or had their resume on Monster and just couldn't get a job. It doesn't exist, right? Because D&D is incredibly valuable to every single player and every single dungeon master, and I 100% support the $40 upcharge on every single copy of Mordenkainen Tome of Foes special edition cover. And to those of you out there, if you're in, I know there's a few exceptions, and if you are really struggling for some reason, absolutely buy the standard version, right? Or even if you really are pressed for money, like if you have some kind of a time-based crisis in your life and you really don't have a lot, okay, do the hard choice and go all the way down to Amazon, right? But the reality is, the vast majority, and especially me, we have gotten so much from this game, and to hear people who are supposed to be champions of this game on the internet downing FLGSs for charging an upcharge on Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is unconscionable. I 100% support a $40 upcharge on Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes special edition cover. Take care.